It's a Wednesday. He's been doing it here with us on WAKR for over 25 years at this time, and that's our good friend Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center at Akron Children's Hospital. Really some great insight into the world of sports medicine. And with that said, Dr. Joe, what do you have for us today?
Hey, Ray. Morning. There's a couple of tidbits that I wanted to just talk about a little bit, and one of those is finally, maybe you could look at as a little bit of good news in front of the draft tomorrow night, the NFL draft for Cleveland fans. We have followed since the middle of last season the issues related to the neck injury of the Browns' very fine linebacker, fine young man by the name of J.O.K., Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And yesterday, I think, had to be seen as some good news, is that he reported to the voluntary camp on the first day, the off-season program. But in a lot of the interviews, there just isn't a lot of information that they're giving. And I've been down the road in a career of 40 years or so of some of these neck injuries, and they are really difficult to make decisions on when people would be ready to play. So as of right now, there's no timeline about when he might play. There's no prognosis about where he's going to be at. It'll probably be a week-to-week thing. We'll follow through with it. We'll kind of talk about how neck injuries and why they are so concerning to us in the sport of football, but at least that was some good news in front of the draft for Cleveland fans. Number two, I'm really kind of in the middle of some discussions right now. I know it's the off season for youth football, but we have kind of a committee that's formed. We've done this at least twice in my career before, but there seems to be a real wide discrepancy, Ray, in junior high school football, 7th and 8th grade football, and we're trying to make it as safe as possible, but there seems to be a widening of bigger kids and smaller kids playing, and the issue of whether there's things we could do to keep kids safer, whether that's really an issue at all. As you know, by knowing me well, we normally say, okay, let's go to the research and see what it shows, and there's just not a lot of research. We started a program, research program about 10 years ago, but they're really hard to get much information from. And so we have a committee formed right now, and we have groups of sports medicine physicians and trainers and coaches that here in the off season are trying to look at, is there anything more we can do with the discrepancy in size in football, youth football, to try to make it as safe as possible for young kids. So more to come on that, too. Probably be hearing about that in maybe in August. But I also wanted to talk about fueling athletes. And I also wanted to talk about is there's a lot of people that share information. And there was a really good piece for parents and for athletes and for coaches to take a look at. It's from a group that I've worked with in my career a fair bit, and they have a real good piece on nutrition and fueling athletes, and you could find it on a site called Play Like a Champion Today, the educational series for Play Like a Champion Today. As you know, that would be the thing with Notre Dame, which is my alma mater, and I've worked with this group. They have a good nutrition handout, and I wanted to just go over a couple of the highlights, maybe 3 or 4 of the highlights of some of the things they talked about. But I would recommend for people looking at appropriately fueling all of their athletes. They're great distance runners like I know you have in your household, soccer players, lacrosse, basketball players. Fueling athletes is so important. So number one on the list, eat a diet rich in vitamins and minerals that helps with healthy growth. So many people want to supplement. And so many people come in our office and ask about what supplements should I be taking. And many kids, young kids, will have kind of a handful of vitamins that they're taking to fortify their diet, when really the very first step is making sure that you have a good diet, rich in vitamins and minerals, and well-balanced diet. And that's really healthful and smart advice. Number two, athletes require more calories. And just be aware that during the season, and if that season is all year long, your athlete may require more calories than non-athletes. Make sure they're eating enough and that they're gaining energy from complex carbohydrates, lean protein, unsaturated fats, and making sure that we're using all three of those elements with calories to make sure that your athletes are staying well fueled. Number three is, this is kind of a little bit surprising to some parents when we talk about it. Encourage healthy snacking even between meals, so that athletes generally look at about 6 meals a day, maybe 7 meals a day. Some of those in between the bigger meals of dinner and lunch and breakfast may have smaller meals, but they may need to snack in between so that they maintain a sustained energy level and are able to sustain an energy level. So looking at maybe 5 or 6 or even 7, some of those in-between snacks can be smaller, but making sure that athletes don't what they call hit the wall, where they're in competition or practice and they lose some of that sustained energy level. So be aware of healthy snacking. The fourth one is that there are nowadays, and I think I mentioned it several months ago, there are people on some of these pediatric sports medicine groups that are very good resources to help with. And visits to a sports dietitian is not a bad way to go for a consultation. I think a 1-hour consultation is good. I think the sports nutritionist then will often continue to maintain a relationship with the athlete and giving them good ideas for some of those three things that I talked about earlier. Is using the sports dietitian. Our sports dietitian who's been with us the last several years, Abby Granger, is great and very accessible and very easy to reach through sports medicine. So you might be looking at maybe a visit or two of a consultation with a sports nutritionist. And finally, the thing that gets into maybe what concerns me and concerns us a little bit is be wary of athletes who are taking healthy nutrition to an extreme. Be on the lookout as a parent or a coach for excessive talk about food or accelerated weight loss. Of course, we know that occasionally rears its ugly head and can be really somewhat dangerous for our young athletes. So those are 4 or 5, I think, really good highlights and could be reached through the Play Like a Champion Today educational series, and it might be something for parents and coaches to keep around as a guideline.
All right. A lot of good information this morning, Joe. Thank you. That was just terrific. Appreciate it. Good insight, my friend.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on some of those other things going on too, Ray. We just don't know about things like the issue with JOK. That is an odd one. But seeing him walk into the facility yesterday was interesting. No timeline, no prognosis. We'll see what shows up there. And remember to fuel your athletes. Those are the 2 messages of this morning for our athletes out there today, Ray.
Big step in the right direction for him, for sure. Joe, we'll do it again next week. Thank you, as always, my friend, for making time.